Two. OCO. Hope y'all can hear me out there. If y'all can hear me, let me know. Let me see. Hold up. All right, you bring that down. Okay. We good? Two. Hold up. Mic check, y'all, real quick. Can y'all hear me? Let me make sure. Let me turn this down real quick. Can y'all hear me? We good? If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up or one or something like that. Let me just double check, make sure the mic is good. OCO, okay. All right, good. Excellent. The volume is good? All right, cool. Appreciate that, Levante. OCO, everyone. How y'all doing? Put your feathers up. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully YouTube don't block that. You know how they been acting. All right, so I'm giving, folks time because I'm what is it? I think it's like 5 minutes left. Yeah, 5 minutes left. Giving a little bit of time before we get started. Who we got up in here? Where y'all at? City and state. Columbus, Georgia. Muskogee, Choctaw. OCO. Atlanta. What's up, Atlanta? What's going on? Oh, hey. Now that thing just jumped on my side. Now y'all might have to put y'all the city and state in there one more time if I missed it. Stone Mountain, GA. Vero Beach, Florida. Roanoke, Virginia. San Diego, California. Beaumont, Texas. Indianapolis. What's up? What's up, y'all? I'm surprised that this thing, I did go. All right, now that jumped a little bit. Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Richmond, VA, Long Island, New York, Baltimore, B-more, what up, B-more? Philadelphia in the building. Oklahoma in the building. Louisville, Kentucky in the building. Dallas, Texas in the building. Houston, Texas in the building. Miami Gardens in the building. Memphis Teen in the building. What up, Memphis? Let me get out this Walgreens. That thing went so fast, I can't even read the rest. Miami in the building. Houston in the building. Boston in the building. Who that? Milwaukee in the building. Cleveland, Ohio in the building. Bronx, New York in the building. Flint, Michigan in the building. Hey, Chicago in the building. Las Vegas in the building. Conyers, Georgia in the building. Atlanta and Detroit in the building. Representing, ain't nothing wrong with that. Illinois in the building. Temple, Texas in the building. Suffolk, VA in the building. San Antonio, Texas in the building. Fayetteville, North Carolina in the building. Brooklyn in the building. Cashville, Tennessee in the building. Cleveland in the building. East St. What? Oh, East St. Louis in the building. What up? Amsterdam in the building. What's going on, Amsterdam? Florence, Alabama in the building. What's up, y'all? Huh? Coca, Florida. What's up, Coca, Florida? Duval in the building. What up, Duval? Hey. OCO. Cali in the building. Lord, I think that was New Orleans that just went past. Bombville, VA. Nashville, Tennessee. East York, New York. Montgomery, Alabama. Duval, yeah, they up in here. Oak Cliff, Texas. St. Louis, Missouri. Romania in the building. What up, Romania? Mooresville, North Carolina. Turtle Island. The whole Turtle Island. Put them turtles up. Go ahead. Jacksonville, Florida. I see you. East St. Louis. Redbird, Colorado Springs. What's going on? Long Island. There go them turtles. Birmingham, Alabama. South Memphis. I see y'all. Henrico, Virginia. Niijiville, I'ma drop a bomb for y'all. Let me switch these screens.
OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
This brother, he is raising some serious questions.
He's here to make you think.
What I'm trying to do is get our people to understand that we have been lied to all the way around about our history. Can you name any other group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents? Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer, which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes.
I want y'all to check out somebody named Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway?
Look into Dane Calloway. He has a lot of information about how this whole shit was told in reverse. Okay? Where they say, oh, we came from Africa over here. No, a lot of us was already here.
And information that was put together by a man by the name of Dane Calloway, who is also questioning the slave trade. And he's done some remarkable videos on the history of the slave trade in the United States. And he's gone back down the food chain and gone back down the line, and he's realized that a lot of the so-called African Americans in the United States are not African at all. They're actually Native Americans, because the slave trade did not happen the way we were told that it happened.
It's Dane Calloway.
Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal.
I'm not saying African American because they're not African American. They're the Aboriginals, because they were the true Native Americans.
Set it on fire.
They're the copper-colored race. Look up Dane Calloway and watch his fucking shows. That man, Dane Calloway on YouTube, oh my God. He is fucking beyond brilliant. The research he does, whoo, he goes way deep into this shit.
Relax and take notes.
It's Dane Calloway on I'm Just Here to Make You Think Radio.
All of my wife and I's 5-star rated books are available to order right now on our website at I'mJustHereToMakeYouThink.com or Amazon Prime or anywhere else books are sold. When you get your copies in the mail, take a picture of it and tag me in it at I'm Just Here to Make You Think on Instagram or TikTok, because I'll be looking forward to reposting the best pictures. Wado, thank you all for your continued support. We appreciate you. Okay. Oh, I gotta fix that. Hold up, man. I gotta fix that right now. But I tried to clean up the all right, hold on. So let me hold up. Give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to clean this little look up, because what we got here, I had a few comments. People were telling me in the comments that they couldn't see that video that I was playing during my last live stream, and I wanted to clean that up a bit. So I took a little second to clean this up, and we should be good now. We should be. I'm hoping so. I'm trying to make sure everything look a little better. Okay. All right, hold up. Just a little cleaner. That's all. And I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do this later, because that's gonna block that. Unless I could do it now. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm right there. Everything happening live. Y'all get to see the behind the scenes stuff, man. Y'all get to see. Yeah, look, even that got a new location. When the notifications go off, y'all gonna see that to the top, right? Don't think that's just, look, see? So yeah, because y'all was saying the bird was in the way, so I brought the bird over. You see what I'm saying? And we should be good from there. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna do something with it. I'm gonna just take it down for right now. But and then on top of that, it should be like right. I don't know. It should be like, I don't know. This is my first time actually looking at it now, and here I go wanting to do some work to it, because it's like right. Okay, yeah. All right. Let me leave it alone anyway, because I know me. Anyway, so what I wanted to do today was say thank you all. Matter of fact, yes, that's what the claps is for. Because a lot of people were talking to me via DMs on the 13% community server, via DMs and my Instagram. And I said to myself, good, it's actually working. And it's also pissing people off, which I don't care, frankly. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care. My wife and I has put in a lot of work when it came to doing this research to put out the truth. of what we were not taught inside of our schools. And that took a lot of time. And, you know, I mean, it's a constant thing. It happens 24 hours. And yesterday we took a quick break because yesterday was Dayton's birthday, my youngest son. He turned 7. Matter of fact, let me clap it up for my son. You know what I'm saying? And so we, you know, I mean, every day we don't treat it like it's a holiday or nothing like that, because we would consider those are, you know, people that are following trends and stuff like that. You know, we make sure that we do things every day so it won't seem like it's just a special day. But we wanted to let them know, look, I mean, when it is that day that you were here, we still want to make it a special day. And yeah, I know what I'm referring to, those holidays that people be celebrating. We're not into that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. That's totally up to you. But when it comes to birthdays and stuff like that, you know, that is, we do want to celebrate life. You know, that's one thing that we do. We do celebrate life, but not to get all personal and everything. So yeah, Dayton the big boy now. You know, man, I remember them days where it used to be Pampers, man. Ugh, man, but that's long gone, and I don't want none of that happening in the near future. We good. We got 5. We good. You hear me? We good to go. But now the children getting older, you know, making sure they straight and putting them in position to win. You know, a lot of things that we weren't taught, my wife and I, that were, you know, we weren't taught this in school. And, you know, that's why I feel as though, yeah, I mean, even though if you have your children going to school, you know, that's cool. But a lot of that stuff has to be taught at home. You know, they need to be learning about a bunch of things, dealing with businesses and dealing with life and how certain angles may happen. And you have to be prepared for certain things. You know, of course, always save money for a rainy day. And I mean, of course, I learned that years ago, listening to my grandfather. Like, he was like, I mean, would you much rather trust a bank or a shoebox? You know what I mean? And he was like, all right, so since you picked shoebox, let me hold it, you know? And but yeah, that was one. It's few ways for people to save money, but it's also ways that I feel as though our people need to learn how to spend money, like where to invest and stuff like that. And so they could go outsourcing to have bigger opportunities for themselves. Like, for example, they could have an idea, like one of the children can have an idea, but how do you bring that idea into reality? What is it that you would like to see done? What is it that you need to get done? What skills do you possess where you could accomplish at least part of it, if not the whole thing, but to the point where you won't be, holding yourself up from what you actually want to do, which is accomplish your entire goal. If you need assistance, that's when, you know, outsourcing comes into play. A lot of people who are successful right now really haven't done it by themselves. Not really. I mean, they usually have a small knit team. They tight knit. Maybe 1 or 2 people. It could be a little bit higher, you know, but they're surrounding themselves with great people, great like-minded people, in order to see themselves win, in order to see themselves succeed at whatever goal it is that they want to accomplish. And the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is a great segue into what I'm talking about, because what we're going to be talking about here is a bunch of things dealing with us, with our people, and what we have been going through, and a lot of the solutions that we need to implement that we haven't done so far. And me personally, I suggest that we do implement certain things that I'm mentioning to you all and have been mentioning to you all for some years now. But when it comes to solutions, I'm like, damn, is it going in one ear and out the other? Like, I know some people would just sit back and wait on me to do something for them, and that's not how it's going to work. Like, you know, I can, for example, I could teach you how to open a business and run a business, but it's up to you to make the business happen. You know, for example, a computer in a car can't run without a battery hitting the starter and that thing hitting the alternator to run the engine. You know, it's going to take a team of things to work together, you know, and that's why I said we don't need everybody. You know, we just need those who are like-minded to join in on these conversations so we can make these conversations become reality. Like, for example, back then, I didn't even get a chance to show you all this yet, in which I will shortly, or if not today, then the next live. I got to make sure I had that up, where our people were fighting against terms like Black American and African American, Negro, and colored, like literally fighting against it. But what happened was the people who were heavily influenced by way of the media locked onto those terms being commonly known, and that's common knowledge, or that's a common thing to say, and it worked against us. A lot of what we had in the past, we don't have right now. A lot of our people don't own land. A lot of our people don't own farms. And I could break down the reasons why, but this is what we're missing. And this is why when I say it's going to take more than one person to do it, yeah, I agree. We should have leaders. And I'm sure people out there consider me a leader, and I appreciate that. But I always tell you all that it's going to have to consist of more than one leader in order to get things done. Because once again, like the computer in a car, I'm going to use this again. The computer in the car wouldn't even shut on if it wasn't for the starter. I mean, for the battery hitting the starter and that hitting the alternator and cutting on the computer, you know what I'm saying? And the engine at the same time. And I'm like, so we need people in place to do particular jobs. And when we do that, and when that does happen, because that's about to happen here shortly, you all have to play your position. So like, for example, if I put something out there that's going to put us in position to win, I'm not saying that I'm in charge. I'm not saying that. Once again, I'm saying that we're all leaders, but I have to play a position, and so do you. If you're going to stand up and say, you know what, I could take on this task while doing everything else that I have to do for my family, because I'm a family man. I'm not trying to take you from your family. That's not what this is about. If anything, all of our families combined is even better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tag along with our families, you know, making sure everything is straight, because that's what this is about anyway, generational wealth. I remember my wife and I was having a conversation earlier today downstairs in the living room, and she was like, people are missing the key ingredient in generational wealth. And I was like, what you saying? She said, if they have children, they need to be looking at their children like their generational wealth. Keep in mind, it's what you teach the children that brings generational wealth, what you pass down to them. Like, instead of just stories of what happened in the past, which is fine, you know, especially if there's lessons learned inside of those stories, but what needs to be passed down to our generations to come is not only what happened in the past, but some corrections that could possibly come about during their generational time period, or time rather, and even more changes will be able to happen. You know, not only just generationally with individual families, but overall as a group of people. And I want to tackle that a lot. I want to tackle that a lot this year and the years to come in more than one way. Like, of course, I'm going to be presenting videos on the channel. I'm going to be doing live streams, but I also want to put it on a big screen. And I think those type of messages are necessary. So where we could display on big screen a scenario, okay? Whether if we utilize fictional characters or non-fictional characters, I just want to get those messages out for people to understand which way they should be going. Because it's almost like, I remember, okay, I'm gonna be real with you all. I remember in the past, I thought I was wasting my time. I thought it wasn't working. I thought it wasn't. I really did. But then as time went on, like the first year of me really actually doing this thing, I said, okay, people are listening. Even those that disagree, they're still listening. And I said, okay, so what is it that we need to do? And I had to really do the research to find out where the problems resided. And a lot of the problems were stemming from after slavery was allegedly abolished in 1863 and 1865. It seems like the problem started later, like top of the 1900s, because we had so many things attacking us as a people where for example, some of our people thought that we had to get with the, and shout out to my wife, because we were conversating about this earlier, had to get with the farm credit system in order to garner a loan in order to upkeep their farms all year round. Say, for example, they were growing some type of a crop that only lasted for a particular time period, and the farm credit system came in and said, look, we'll pay you to grow this for this year to make up for what you're missing. And come to find out, a lot of those people were losing money and eventually lost their farms by way of the paperwork, by not being able to pay those loans back for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into that right now, even though we have before, but that's not what this is about. I'm not trying to prolong that. The situation of what I'm referring to is how I always broke down how certain things were removed out of our possession, whether if it was done inadvertently or if it was done purposely. And then the next generations, which will be us, have no idea that this happened. Okay, so that's preventing generational wealth from occurring the next generation to come. You understand what I'm saying? Like my children's age. So that's why I feel as though, yeah, it's important for them to understand what's going on here. Now I'm about to play some examples of how other people are getting it done. Like they're seriously not playing around, and I want y'all to take notice of how they're not playing around. For example, I'm gonna show you this video here, and I want you to critique this video. Like what do you? Okay, hold on, let me play it because I might end up saying it by mistake, and I wanna hear y'all's opinion on this. So here we go. Is the music loud? No, the music is down. Okay.
Here in Charlotte, there is such a demand for places to live that landlords can be picky.
Many will not even rent to people who get the government subsidies known as Section 8. Action 9 investigator Jason Stujanki says it sounds like illegal discrimination, but it's not. Jason?
Yeah, well, that's right. More than 5,000 people are on Section 8 here in Charlotte, and thousands more are on the waiting list. Now, many tell me it's hard to find decent housing, even with that.
Okay, go take me to the chair.
Shelley Fenley is missing a leg.
Get the nail.
Angela Hargrove has MS. When she found out,
it was completely devastating. I cried all the way home.
Both are on Section 8, and both say multiple landlords weren't willing to rent to them.
How many places do you think you got turned down from?
Jesus, at least 15.
15 places turned you down?
If not more.
Can you believe it's legal?
No, it shouldn't be. It's like I have a plague. It's like we have a plague.
Fenley finally found an apartment.
Okay, so let me explain what's going on, right? Now, this is in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. But it's happening in a lot of other states. And I'm getting to a point with this, and y'all got to stick with me on this. This is the reason why it's a live stream and we may be a little lengthy. I normally don't get to my main point until I make smaller other points. I remember a lot of people were jumping the gun with the last live stream, like doing stupid, silly stuff and coming up with something based off of the title that I gave the video when they actually need to listen to me all the way to understand where I'm coming from. But shout out to those of you that have a short attention span. We like to call that the TikTok attention span. That's not what this is about. I'm a teacher. I'm going to tell you the lesson, okay? I'm going to break this thing down for you to understand. You understand? And don't rush me. Don't rush me, okay? I don't like to be rushed, okay? I don't even like when the police be like, step out of the car, sir. I'm gonna take my goddamn time. First of all, my shoes is off. What you need me to step out the car for? Did I break a law? Did I break a law? Huh? So why are you interrogating me and you ain't see that I broke no law? You ain't got no right to detain me. Am I free to go? But yeah, don't rush it, okay? Don't rush it. Hey, I'm gonna drop a bomb. Don't rush it. Let it come. Let it come to you, man. And if I'm boring, click off. Come back to it later, you know? Click. I mean, I'm just saying, that's if you think I'm boring, come back to it later, you know? But I'm here to teach, so I have to do it the way that I know people may comprehend, the best way that I can. I know it's a lot of other people that like to do it certain ways, and I like to do it my way. But I'm going to tell you that there's a bigger point. There's a much larger point that I'm trying to make here. But we're going to start right here. Section 8 vouchers or Section 8 renters have been discriminated against. Now, what you see in this particular instance is that it doesn't matter their skin complexion. It's just that landlords are not going to rent to Section 8 people or people up under that particular program. Now, again, I said earlier that happened or happens in a lot of states, and it's legal. And it's legal. Now, some of you may say, Dane, you know what? That's for good reason. Because why would I want to be in $1 million house, for example, and my next door neighbor is in Section 8? And they see that I'm doing what I'm doing and I got this and I got that, and they really don't have anything, they're going to be plotting. Now, I know that a lot of you will probably think that, okay? And I'm not knocking that. Think that. But where's the limit? Because if they're not able to grab places, like say, for example, it's not the type of people that are going to be willing to rob you per se. What if it's people like their situation that are actually, that are in their situation, that are actually trying to seek help, that really need, Section 8, not those that are, that's their whole mindset. They're not trying to come up out of there and they're actually able-bodied. Not those people, the ones that want to work the system and act like they doing good when it's actually the system helping them and they taking advantage of it. Not them. I'm talking about the people that actually need it. Now, it's another thing I'm going to show you. So this is happening. Okay, we're going to keep going.
But it's on the second floor, hard with a wheelchair.
I didn't think it would be this difficult. I really didn't.
Hargrove is still looking for a place. She's all but given up, ready to move back to New York, where she says it was actually easier.
I was born in North Carolina. I've lived in New York most of my life, and I really wanted to come back.
But you can't.
Not at the moment, no.
We found all of these rental ads on Craigslist, landlords who won't take Section 8, landlords like Mark Polton.
Everything in here is new.
He isn't hurting for renters. He told me there's so much demand, he got about 6 calls per day on this house alone.
It's just been insane, actually.
So he can be selective, and he says Section 8 has too much red tape.
I now have to get an inspection, wait 2 weeks. I'm not getting paid. Typically, the renter will be in the property while you're doing all this. They're going to find something wrong. They always do. You got to get a reinspection. And, it's just...
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. The landlord is going to have his concerns about certain rules and regulations that you got to follow by now that the government is getting involved. And, of course, some of them don't have to pay security deposit. Am I going too fast? I'm at that talking fast point. Let me slow down. Yeah, but let me slow it down. Yeah, I hear me. I'm talking all quick and stuff like that, and some people not going to be able to catch it. Let me break that down. The landlord is going to have his own concerns, okay? But we should have our own concerns for our own people and how things should go when it comes to housing, especially those that are in need, okay, of a place to stay. Now, we shouldn't revert to have to showing them a new little group home or, having to live with people that are of their age for whatever reason that they're going through as far as their disabilities are concerned. We need to be helping these people out because they are in trouble. They are in trouble. And it could be some people, and I was going to play that, but a lot of the videos are too sad, and I don't want to bring people's energy down because I'm about to move on to another thing I want to show you all. But there's people out there that have lost their houses due to what happened during the pandemic. And, because they lost their jobs, for whatever reason. It could have been anything. It could have been anything. It could have been because they didn't want to take that thing, or it could have been because people had to, certain particular jobs had to lay off people in order to recoup the losses that they garnered throughout that time period. So any reason, but they are not able to. This is the part that I'm talking about as far as protection is concerned that's needed, and having generational wealth. Now, how does this correlate? Before we move any further, how does this correlate? Generational wealth would look like this. These people that are of their particular families would not have to worry about the government assisting them when it's the family that will assist them. Everybody will have access to houses, to land, to medical care, if you have it set properly amongst the household. This goes back to everybody playing a particular role. Some people do have that structured, and a lot of those people that have it structured that way, unfortunately, and I gotta say it like this for real, I'm being real, it's the immigrants. The reason why is because the immigrants came from a situation that looked like, ran down. They don't got clothes on their back for years. They just amounted to getting tennis shoes when they were 12, 13. They not trying to go back to that no more. So they're going to come over here. The government give them a handout, and they're going to capitalize off of that handout. Now, you could take a look at what is, some of these people who are on Section 8, you could take a look and see what they get. Okay, but as far as assistance with rental assistance is concerned, yeah, that may make things about $0 to $20 a month, but do they have to live like that for the rest of their life? Everything else is on lockdown for real. They have to follow by so many rules and regulations to upkeep those payments. They got to have visitors come in to check them out, to make sure everything is. I understand, okay, certain things or why they're in place, but I'm just saying, if your family is set up, okay, there could be, it's just the family's rules and regulations. You don't have to be bound by paperwork to do this and do that by way of whatever the government has set up. But things do take a turn when it comes to what I'm talking about here, because the landlords not accepting Section 8, I'm getting ready to show you all really quick. And give me a second. I'm going to play this until I grab it. Hold up.
It's difficult when, I'm not Donald Trump or anything. I got to carry these mortgages. I got to pay them.
Plus, it's perfectly legal to say no.
Would you outlaw it? Would you keep it the way it is?
City Council member Braxton Winston says he feels for the renters.
I believe that a Section 8 voucher should not preclude anybody from having a safe and secure home in the city of Charlotte.
He wants to study the issue more, and now that Action 9 brought it up, he's officially asking the city attorney to research the city's legal options. Now, since then, a second council member also plans to look into this. I'll stay on top of it, let you know what happens.
Okay, I got it.
And at last check, 13 states and more than 60 cities and counties have outlawed it, but none in the Carolinas.
Now, speaking of outlawed, okay, I'm actually glad that he mentioned that, because what I'm about to show you is this. So let me pull this over really quickly. Okay, so now, and let me make sure that you can see this. Let me zoom in. Give me a second. Okay, so now, so Texas bans homeowners associations from discriminating against renters who receive federal housing aid. Now, you can look at this from one perspective that I gave you that you may be familiar with, okay? But federal housing aid, I want you all to think about how serious this is, because this gets a lot deeper than one may assume. When it comes to the reasons why particular states' homeowners associations will stop the, what can I call it? Discrimination. Yeah, I'm gonna just call it that, because it happens not only due to a person's disability, but it also happens due to a person's skin complexion. Okay? A person's skin complexion. Some people, pick whatever state you want to say, will immediately not rent to a person, even if they're on Section 8 or not. They won't rent to them, and they reserve this right to not rent to them due to their skin complexion. A lot of discrimination is going on in and outside of these things. Now, we could point to getting loans, and remember we already talked about the banks. We already talked about this stuff. But it's all going to go back to generational wealth, and how you have everything structured inside of your, inside of your household right now. Everybody playing a particular role. And then on top of that, us coming together as like-minded people, putting things together that can help us and assist us. And everybody's playing a particular role in these ways right here. But this is another thing I want to point out that people are not going to think about. If people who are already, on low income, and, working 9 to 5 and living check to check, if they were hit hard, how hard were the people that weren't living? How hard were the people hit that are not living from check to check, didn't lose their job during the pandemic, or because they didn't want to take the, that thing? But how hard were they hit? Because certain industries they're not going to talk about were hit. Where people are making 80 to 100,000 or more a year, they were hit. And I want you to think about that. Did they lose their houses? They may not have lost their job, but what if they lost their house due to whatever time period where they couldn't get funds for whatever it was? Some contract might have ended, or the contract, probably was canceled because of, just think about the scenarios, okay? Because I could come up with so many. But those people were hit even harder. You know why? Because there's no assistance for them. And hear me out on this. Like, for example, when you seeing, look. Okay, for example, look at this. Look at this beautiful area. You wouldn't think Section 8 people would live here, would you? And this is not, I'm not discriminating. I'm just letting you all know that somebody that got money live at this house, that make a good income. Hear me out. So the brand new people that have been coming in to Section 8 is fighting against the discrimination. So they could not reside where usually they see Section 8 people are placed by the government. They want to live in the same neighborhoods that they are used to. Whatever they went through, they were in the $1 million house, probably lost it. They want to go back to the $1 million house neighborhood, huh? So guess who on Section 8 now? Okay, now here's another thing. Yes, and this is a form of what's been happening for quite some time. There's a bigger message to this too. This is the reason why I'm pushing for people to understand that it's many forms in generational wealth and many ways to get it done. Because this is another form of this is the Great Depression 3.0. That's it. That's it right there. Great Depression 3.0.
It's go time, Slim.
Now this is the time that we're living in right now, where even the poor that you wouldn't think was poor is poor, and the poor that you knew was poor, okay, this is the reason why they don't want to discriminate any longer, because now it's affecting the immigrants more so than ever, based off of what happened. And it's not it's not fair that we have to wait for other immigrants to get something done, just like affirmative action. That was based on a group of Asians that was like, hey, we minority too, and we're being discriminated against. We shouldn't have to wait for we shouldn't be waiting on people to get this done. Okay, that's the message. That's what I want to say. We shouldn't be waiting on people to get this done. But we know what we have to do. And this is the reason why I'm here, so I could break down certain things that you may be unfamiliar with so we could get it done on our own. Again, those Section 8 people are now different than what we are used to. Okay, and you know, we usually call them ghettos, but now they're right here in the $1 million neighborhoods. Times have changed. Great Depression 3.0. Times have changed. What comes during a Great Depression? There's going to be things that are set up to follow this, and it's going to be in the form of a reconstruction. This is the reason why I gave warnings, and other ones, you know, other people on YouTube gave warnings about things that could be in the works. I gave warnings until we need to be saying no. We don't need to be fed now. See, people that got to depend on the government are also being treated like slaves. And I'm pretty sure that's a hard pill to swallow for certain people. But they're also being treated like slaves, just like how they treat the citizens as slaves. And remember, when you're, you know, the terminology that they use is that they're part of the system. But when you're a part of the system, there's a start and an end. So what is the end result of being in the system? The logical answer is that you're not reliant upon you and your family, in which you should be. In which you should be. Everybody's household should consist of everybody doing well. Of everybody doing well. This is the reason why the system is set up for you to fail. They don't want you to succeed. Once you realize that you really wasted about 2 years of your college life just to get through those prerequisites to hopefully learn what you want to learn in order to make some money, by the time you come out of there, you are in debt again, even worse. So yeah, you could go get your education, but it may prevent you from getting a job, a car and a house and more credit lines. Look how they setting it up. So that's why I laugh at people that dangle, I got my doctorate degree, I got my bachelor's degree. I really do. I laugh because I'm like, damn, they got you. They got you thinking that a piece of paper would make you smart. You know what a piece of paper do? Think about the correlation here. You want to find out your genealogy DNA test results? You want to find out if you're an African? Here's a piece of paper. Oh, you graduated after doing all of this work. Walk across the stage and here's a piece of paper. I got credentials and all of them are in glass cases and they're pieces of paper. Oh man, look y'all, I got value right here in my hand. I got a $20 bill, a $100 bill. It's a piece of paper. And where are they getting this paper from? The trees. So wait a minute, nature has to suffer for you doing the unnatural, right? Who died and made you my God? A piece of paper doesn't dictate anything, but we're allowing it to. Just like our ancestors allowed certain treaties that was written on a piece of paper. And then they tell you, nah, but look, they did the commandments by way of piece of paper. And I don't know. And then you got your Bill of Rights, piece of paper. Amendments, piece of paper. I'm tired of that. I hope you are too. Because building generational wealth ain't got nothing to do with a piece of paper. This is the reason why they can't teach you generational wealth with anything correlating with a piece of paper. Right now. Keep in mind, it take you a piece of paper to fill out an application in order to see if you qualify for Section 8. It take a piece of paper to see if you qualify for a loan, if you qualify for this particular school, if you qualify for this particular job. Look at how often they're using a piece of paper to judge you. Ooh, look.
Okay, I'll reload it.
This is what we need to get out of. It could be something that you don't know would be a contract on your head. You wouldn't know because it's just a piece of paper. Look at how they got us making us, they making us look at pieces of paper as just another one. It's a piece of paper. And we're using it for business, huh? Are we conducting trade or one is betraying the trader as a trader? How is it set up? The system wasn't designed for you to win. So if you're dependent on the system, there's no way that you could win. Remember they said everybody's trying to live the American dream, and nobody really defined what the American dream was. They really couldn't define. Everybody had their own take on it. I'm gonna just say it that way. People will pull you one way, another group of people will pull you a different way. There's really not a solid answer as to the definition of American dream. It's really not. The only people that we could think of that that are living the American dream is those that are running America that we don't see. Because I wonder if they were bound by pieces of paper for anything. Well, nah, man, they got the money, Dane, so that's paper. Is it paper? Or is it just numbers in the account? Some form of value that's been in thin air. It's imaginatory. It's just based off of what they want it to be. And the value in it is you being controlled to think it's that high in value. You see how easy this is, right? I hope y'all listening to me. These people don't have nothing over you if you don't give it to them. That's just like, for example, when a police officer pulls you over. When they do their so-called investigation, they're interrogating you, fishing for information. When a random telephone number calls your phone and they say, hey, Levante, my apologies for using you as an example. They say, hi, is this Levante Rogers? You know what you got to do? Hello? Who is this? Oh, this is Dane Calloway with I'm Just Here to Make You Think Incorporated. I was just looking to see, if you took a look at your bill from last month, and we wanted to help you with that, but I just have to verify, are you Levante Rogers? Those type of calls, right? When they always got to make sure that you say yes on their recorded calls, in which they never mention that they're recording your call, because apparently it's not for quality insurance, it's for their benefit, in order to reuse your voice saying yes to probably further pull you in debt, because you're not going to notice it anyway, because you're not taking a look at your FICO score and everything else. But that's a whole nother story. But that's what they're banking off of, taking advantage of the vulnerable. Not saying that Levante Rogers is vulnerable. I just used my brother as an example, his name. So you could get the point. And all of a sudden, they want to get rid of discriminating against renters who receive federal housing aid. So those of you that were not taking advantage of the system, that was actually in need of assistance or aid in order to gain a house or a roof over your head, something. It was never the best condition. But now the immigrants who had the money, and now it's gone, and they needed assistance from the federal government because they didn't build generational wealth amongst their family. They were on a high horse and they never thought they could fall off. Now they want to make sure that they stay in the neighborhoods that they're used to. Wait a minute, so now they have say-so and you don't? What's the difference between their word and yours? It's still discrimination. Section 8 lawmakers passed the law after North Texas Homeowners Association barred landlords from renting to Section 8 tenants. Most of the affected tenants in that neighborhood were Black. But keep in mind, in that neighborhood, what neighborhood? Wait a minute. State lawmakers passed the law after a North Texas Homeowners Association barred landlords from renting to Section 8 tenants. Most of the affected tenants in that neighborhood were Black. What neighborhood? An actual place or the neighborhood of being Section 8 tenants? Which one are you referring to? And what I'm trying to point out to you all is now it has flipped, because our people weren't fighting for this. That's the key. Oh, well, I'm so used to $1 million neighborhood. I want to be back in $1 million neighborhood. Our people weren't used to that. They only are taking advantage of a certain group of people all the time. Ones that are dependent on the system. Ones that consent to the system and won't say a word. All of a sudden, the Asians are considered minorities also, but no, so get rid of affirmative action. Went to the Supreme Court and won. Had we would have did that, I would love for us to try something for us to stop discriminating. Wait a minute, I thought we did, Dane. I mean, what was all the marching for, Dane? Did we get anything accomplished? I mean, even start with Martin Luther King to get some civil rights for us. I mean, but where does it say it actually works for Black people? Wait a minute, did they disguise the civil rights movement as a movement for Blacks when it was actually working for the immigrants that were incoming during that time? Because if it actually worked for us, then we were treated civilly, and then, equally. Why are we backtracking now? Hold up, wait a minute. It's a lot of problems and issues that we have to resolve, and generational wealth will resolve a lot of those issues amongst your family, individual family. And then we could come together. See, remember, a lot of people out there, that will call themselves activists, or they'll call themselves whatever title they want to give themselves. They won't actually talk about how we need to have generational wealth within our own families first before we unite. You know what they do? They skip right to the unite part. Because think about it. If a group of millionaires who were of color got with a group who were on Section 8 that were of color and united, there's going to be tension there. Think about it. There's going to be tension there. Again, if they're not used to the $1 million neighborhood and they come beside or want to be residing beside a $1 million household and they're on Section 8, there's a threat. Which will be that same threat will be existing. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to a group of Niiji millionaires with a group of Niiji who are on Section 8. But this is the reason why generational wealth will be so dominant to resolve that problem, because it wouldn't be any more Niiji people on Section 8 needing assistance from the government. If our families provide the assistance they need to their families, there won't be a need for us to be on Section 8. Remember how we used to make fun of our Latino communities out there? Because the Latino communities will have 12 to 13 people in one house. But wait a minute, did you check their life after that 12 or 13 that was living in their house? Because if the parents did it right, the mother and father made sure that each child in that household was going to do something to bring back generational wealth. Now, every family member got a job or own a business. And they bringing that wealth right back to the family, and then go visit their other family members in Honduras somewhere, as an example. And they not playing. Here go the I'm gonna break you off too, cousin, auntie. Our people don't have that. Our people do not have that. And that's a mental thing. Not the fact that we have a mental problem. We just have problems that's affecting our mental. We feel as though that we have to unite to get things done, when that's just part of the resolution. But we have to do the things first to set us up in order to unite as one to get to the main goal. That's why it's a little bit difficult for some of you out there to listen to me state that the solution starts with you. When I tell you to go look in the mirror, that's what I'm referring to. In the past, I told you how to do it, and here I am stating it again in a different way. It's generational wealth. And what's bad is that I will put out a video that will teach issue, problem, solution, and it don't get no views for real. None. And I'm not going to get all upset or nothing like that and start yelling at you, but some of y'all do need some yelling at you. I wish you was my child. Listen, the whole point is that people hard-headed. And when you do put solutions out there, it's going in one ear and out the other. They're not trying to implement that into their real life. They're going to say, Dane don't know what he's talking about. He just a YouTuber. Oh, he teaches history and he don't know what he talk. Okay. They don't see how I live. They don't know how I live. They don't know my life. They don't know what I've been through in my life. They don't see how I transitioned to a better man. I came through the struggles from the mud. That was hard. I had to leave certain things behind. I had to leave a lot of people behind in order for me to change. That was hard. And it was for the better. Life lessons were learned. But again, I'm just teaching. You may consider some of it as advice, but I am providing solutions along with the history in every video. So when I tell you stuff like this that you see on the screen, when I tell you stuff like this and I'm informing you of what's going on right now and then breaking that stuff down and where they should be, I'm talking about, they said the most of the affected tenants in that neighborhood were Black. Keep in mind, they did not tell you a neighborhood. Nowhere in this title, before I even scroll down. There's no way they should be using that terminology, but they are referring to that. Section 8 tenants. And this is what we have to, now keep in mind, it's up to the parents at home. It's up to the parents at home. Like if you're single right now and you're a single parent, it's still up to you, sister, brother. It's still up to you. Okay? It is. It's how you want to make it for your family. So I don't care if your children 25, 26, sit them down. Get them on the phone. Get this going. Yeah, it's better for the families to work together individually than trying to build individuals from the families. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on, let me explain why. Look at all the movements that pulled from people that was basically off the street from individual families and how it affected their families by joining these organizations that weren't family oriented. For example, the civil rights movement. Okay, do I need to go into that? But how what's his name? The one that died, how he wanted to get with Martin Luther King at 17 years old, and his parents was warning him not to do that. What's his name, y'all? The Democrat. Bring it to me. Reach. But, and then it's more instances than that. Then the Black Panthers bringing all those, bringing people on board. Yeah, John Lewis was his name. The Black Panthers were bringing people off the street, and a lot of those people's parents were disagreeing with those type of movements because they knew it was going to bring the drama back to their houses. But those young children were thinking, hey, we wanted some change. We wanted some solutions to happen. They like, maybe this is it. Because them old folks that we got as parents don't know what they talking about because they not talking enough. We want to see some solutions. So you could point the blame at whoever you want to point the blame at. But I'm telling you right now, the parents of today, it's up to you all. It's up to us to teach our children the right things to do. Before they do it for their own people as a group, they have to do it at home. To the point where you are going to be supported at 70, 80 years old by your children. They're not going to leave you out to hang and dry. You understand what I'm saying? That's what this is about. And once again, I gave you the majority of the Latino community as an example. They do not play around. They do not, because they know where they came from, just like we know where we came from as far as our uprising or our upbringing. You don't want to go back to that note. So how do we continuously go up? Make sure that everybody's on that same page within your own family. For example, one could be a builder, right? Could build houses. One could be a great cook. One could be a hunter. One could be a farmer. One could be a police officer. I'm just think about that. The more streams that you have coming in through your family, me personally, I would say I would love for you all to be business owners, though, owning farms, owning land, owning police departments, owning grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, I will promote ownership more so than anything in the household. Ownership. Whatever talent that they have, make sure that they own it. Like, versus them giving it up and working for somebody else and they getting paid little to nothing. I mean, that's not building generational wealth fast enough. That's me, you know. That's me. I'm just saying, I think ownership is the key. Okay? And whatever skill they don't possess, they can outsource. Especially if it's needed in order for them to, you know, bring their businesses up, whatever it is. You know, and that's what, you know, that's the reason why I take especially this particular YouTube channel very seriously, because this one is like one of those YouTube channels where you punch something in, and I'm probably going to end up titling my stuff like that too, where you're trying to grab a solution really quick. You know, I mean, you probably couldn't find it on Google. You jumped on YouTube because that's the second best search engine in the world, and you type it in. Whatever it is, how to tie my shoe. I'm just saying, as an example, I'm pretty sure they got them videos on YouTube. How to tie a tie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, anything. But see, that's what I'm providing. And that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And a lot of those folks will turn their nose up and like, oh, you know, well, Dane, I usually agree with you, but this time I'm not going to agree with you because what you're saying is blah, 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 blah. And they're not in a better position than I am. Not. Guaranteed. And what I mean by that is generational wealth. It's not about how much, once again, this ain't about how much money you got. It's about how much wealth you got. Did you build it to the point where if anything happened to you, your family got you? Okay, for example, if sis need a car, she called her brother. Her brother ain't got it just yet, but he made sure he three-wayed the big sis. Big sis got it. Gave her 2 cars. Told her, I use one for personal, use one for business. I'm just saying, stuff like that. That's what's missing in our communities. Prior to us getting to the unite part, I'm probably the only one that's saying that. I hear everybody else talking about unite, 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 unite. And the last time I can recall us doing some form of uniting is when we pulled the children out of the household from what their parents was, you know, trying to inform them to do. And then the children united in order to gain, you know, hopeful civil rights and black power and stuff like that. And tell me, did it work? It was a nice try, but no, it didn't, because discrimination continued on still to this very day, where you see stuff like this. So you know I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. Let's just hope that the Homeowners Association of other states will follow this same suit and do that. I remember that guy saying 13 other states and 44 or whatever, 66 other counties have this banned. have this banned. And I'm pretty sure it's probably in areas where a lot of wealthy people are located. Okay? But you got to think about that. They still going to show favoritism based off of your skin complexion or based off of your misclassification by way of the government, allowing the government to say who you are and whole time that work against you. And then we running with it. We running with it. Black people, we black. We black Americans. And when you go out of the country, if you ever get a chance to go out of the country by using your passport, they won't be calling you black nowhere else. They're going to refer to you as American anywhere else. We the only ones calling each other's black over here. Like when say, for example, with some Africans that come here, if they not hip, they're going to call you American. If they hip, they're going to be like, yeah, all of us blacks, and then group themselves in just because they finally got started with learning English. And, you know, and y'all thinking that we the same and we not. Like, seriously, there's a lot of people that look like us everywhere, but that doesn't mean that we are the same people. That doesn't mean that we went through the same struggles, the same wars, okay, the same discrepancies, the same discriminations, the same losses, the same wins, the same legacies, the same cultures. No, we are not the same. And you're making a big mistake by saying that you are an African. We are not from Africa. When you were born here, where were you born? Okay, I'm gonna just say it that way. You were born here. If anybody that you are familiar with in your family was born and raised in Africa, then that is the only way that you are an African. The only way. Okay? You can trace your family back and you don't need no DNA genealogy test to tell you by way of paper who you are, when you can check and see who you are by way of another paper, by the way, records that were kept prior to DNA genealogy existing. Started in the 1980s, just like the internet. So it has been infiltrated with an agenda. You need to really find out who your ancestors are, and then you don't call each other Negro, Black, African American. You don't call each other, you don't even call each other Indian for real. And I told y'all the only reason why we use an American Indian is because of the paperwork by way of the government. That's the only reason why. Other than that, you will refer to yourself as who your people are. You know, it's who your people are. Straight up, like, you know, when we Indian, they would straight up be like, yeah, I'm such and such, I'm this and that. They would start rolling off tribes. Seriously. And these are our people. These foreigners that just started coming here. In fact, I might as well play that. These foreigners that just started coming here in the 1870s. Those ones that came and basically took our spot, or 1850s, got real heavy in the 1870s. And by the 1890s, that was it. They took it over. And I want to show you all something really quickly. Some of them are being evicted. I never got a chance to show you all this. Let me show y'all this.
I'm full of hatred for that tribal council.
It's a battle over land, rights, and enforcing a court order.
It's been quite a journey.
The conflict centers around the Winnemucca Indian Colony. It's several acres on the south end of Winnemucca. In December, more than a dozen residents who live there.
Winnemucca. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that, but just keep that in mind. They consider themselves a colony. Oh, it wasn't turned up. Let me start over. Hold up.
I'm full of hatred for that tribal council.
It's a battle over land, rights, and enforcing a court order.
It's been quite a journey.
The conflict centers around the Winnemucca Indian Colony. It's several acres on the south end of Winnemucca. In December, more than a dozen residents who live there were told they had to leave their homes where they've lived for decades.
People got my daughter's ashes spread there
Elena Loya lived in the house where her mother once lived. In fact, generations of her family have been there almost a half century.
My great-great-grandmother, Sally Cinnabar, she died on that colony.
Hold up. Before we go any further, y'all, evicted from Winnemucca Indian Colony. What is a colony? A group of immigrants or their descendants who settle in a distant territory but remain subject to or closely associated with the parent country. Colony. A group of immigrants or their descendants who settle in a distant territory but remain subject to or closely associated with the parent country. This is another way of saying that they're immigrants here. And then they wonder why they're getting kicked. Hold up.
And, her mother died actually in that house I live in.
The history of this land dates back to President Woodrow Wilson. He issued an executive order in 1916 allowing federal railroad land to be used for the Winnemucca Indian Colony.
1916. Okay.
It was meant for homeless Paiute and Shoshone Native Americans. In the past few years, some of the people living on the land, like Jim Ayer, have been intertwined in a legal fight to stay there.
I lived there since 1980, and I'm at least 7 to 10 generations. I could trace my ancestry back to 1894.
He could trace his ancestry back to 1894. That's not an indigenous person. Are y'all catching on to this? Hold up. That also means something is wrong with the people that's saying, okay, you got to be of a certain what they call them census. You got to be, your family got to be on a certain census. Excuse me, at a certain time period or of a certain time period in order for you to be qualified as a tribal member. Wow. This is a big deal. Big deal. He could trace his ancestors back to 1890. I wonder who's in charge of evicting these people off of their so-called land. I wonder who is. We about to find out.
Last December 2nd, the Winnemucca Indian Colony Tribal Court ordered that about a dozen residents had to leave. It's been a legal fight that's been going.
Whoa. Oh, so the Indian tribe colony. Wait a minute. Indian colony. Man, the way that sound together pisses me off. I mean, not Indian territory, not Indian land. They saying Indian colony. That right there pisses me off. But it's telling you a group of immigrants. So look. A group of immigrants or their descendants who settle in a distant territory but remain subject to or closely associated with the parent country. Again, man. Oh, I hit that off. Hold on. Let me cut that back on. I hit the wrong button.
It's up.
There you go.
Relax and take notes.
All right.
Take notes.
So these these are not the indigenous. It's a lot of people out here that should not be considered indigenous people. That's a slap in our faces. We've been here longer than, what did he say, 1894? We've been here longer than that. And that's not fair that they were actually receiving things that we should have gotten. But I'm gonna keep going
on since the 70s with numerous court battles. Colony attorney Norberto Cisneros explains why they're evicted.
Why not just let these people live on the land? They've been there so long. Why now take it back?
The people that are on the land right now are not members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony and cannot trace their lineage back to the homeless 1960 Indians who were part of that 1960.
Whoa, and cannot, hold up.
This 1960 Indians who were.
No, go back. Wait, well, wind that back.
Live on the land. They've been there so long. Why now take it back?
The people that are on the land right now are not members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony and cannot trace their lineage back to the homeless 1960 Indians who.
He did say 1960. To the 1960 Indians, to the homeless 1960. What? 1960? Again. Homeless 1960? I'm telling you, if we were to do an audit, hear me out. If we were to do an audit of these so-called federally recognized, whatever they want to be called now, I'm telling y'all, if we were to gather, once again, after we create generational wealth, they come together, 13% of us come together to form a correlation of all like-minded people, and we actually put our funds together and our resources together to do an audit, I'm sure, look at their attorney. I'm sure, I remember somebody was out there saying, Dane not Native American, he not American Indian, or he would have had a Native American attorney. Hold on, y'all. Native Americans don't even have Native American attorneys. Exhibit A, what are you talking about? Like, stop playing. Anytime we go through, that ain't our court system. We want them Jews in there. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know better than that.
It's up.
Anyway, go ahead, Norberto. Go ahead. He said what?
Not members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony. The people that are on the land right now are not members of the Winnemucca Indian Colony and cannot trace their lineage back to the homeless 1960 Indians who were part of that 1916 base roll that we're talking about. In addition,
1916 base roll that we're talking about. Man, that don't sound 18 nothing. The 1960s homeless Indians, tracing it back to that 1916. Come on, bro. No way.
In addition, many of them receive federal funds from other tribes because they're other tribal members.
Whoa. What? Hold on, y'all. What?
Who were part of that 1916 base roll that we're talking about. In addition, many of them receive federal funds from other tribes because they're other tribal members.
The evicted residents say the tribal council.
In addition, some of them receive, say it again.
Receive federal funds from other
tribes.
Because they're other tribal members.
Because they're other tribal members. Wait a minute. That sound like generational wealth. Hold up. So not only do they want to receive the benefits that these particular Indians got, but they want to receive the benefits of others. That's something that we should be having. Ain't that crazy? That's something that we should be having right now.
The evicted residents say the tribal council has no authority, saying they voted themselves in, but the court agreed with the board and upheld the eviction.
Look at so much stuff getting exposed. The tribal council did what?
Voted themselves in, but
they voted themselves in. Woo! See, this is the reason why I be like, it's up to y'all if y'all want to get back to y'all tribe, because they've been infiltrated. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, The majority, that's why I said we need to do an audit. Because, I mean, god damn.
Court agreed with the board and upheld the evictions. The tribal court ordered that the residents be out by early December. They had a few days to get their belongings out of their homes, but anybody that returned to their residence after that were arrested by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Kyle, Missouri spent 6 days in jail after he tried to go back to his grandmother's boarded-up house where he also lived. BIA officers stopped him.
I wasn't saying anything. I was trying to follow the court. And then I got wrestled down, and then they tased me, I think 2 or 3 times. The Winnemucca Indian Colony doesn't own that house.
Hold on, Cal. Hold on, Cal. And then, you know, and then they got the nerve to get on us because we don't fit the description of a Hollywood style, you know, American Indian. You know how they do us, right? Nah, y'all African. They slapping that label on us on purpose because they know people who are native to this land, meaning that they were born here, their parents could have been somewhere else, are going to continue on with that narrative because they get the benefits that we supposed to be receiving, okay? They're going to continue on with that narrative. And no, y'all African. Y'all African and can't trace no person in your family back to Africa. But that one guy was like, I could trace my ancestry back to 1894. You know how easy that is for our people to do it? These people look like, to me, they look more Asian than Latino, but you could tell that they got Asian Latino in them. But they look more Asian to me. I'm talking about, bro. And so you trying to tell me your ancestors ain't have no color on you? Because even the census considered everybody of color. And that was by way of their skin tone. Everybody was mixing, huh?
So she's the one who should authorize who can and cannot be there.
Residents say low-income elders who were evicted from the colony are living in this Motel 6.
This is just about...
Dang, what about the hair? The women go get weave. But back in the day, before weave and all the rest of that stuff, before they start putting all them chemicals in their hair, our women had long hair. Naturally. Our women had long hair. Where you think they getting these styles from? If they were immigrants, in which they were, from another continent, they come over here and see how we did it. What they gonna do? Copy? Of course. They adapted into your culture so they could fit in. And then they took your culture away from you and saying that it ain't yours. So you won't ever trace it, huh? All y'all got is the arts and entertainment. We had everything. Not just the dances. TikTok should be paying us an arm and a leg. Not just the dances. Facebook need to be paying Black Planet. We done started the trends on everything. We were the first at everything. And you gonna tell me that we weren't the first in our cultures, our traditions, all the way down to this goddamn language that we speaking right now? No, but Dane, no, but the English spoke English. When they weren't even called English, and I showed you that. And I also showed you that Noah Webster himself came out and said that he borrowed from, I believe it was 26. I could be wrong in the number. It could be between 26, 28, 30, 32 indigenous languages of America. They were in England speaking a totally different language. Because You tell me the difference between English and Old English, and then tell me what they mean, Old English, when that wasn't even in England. Since they so smart and they don't know what he talking about. When I got it directly from Noah Webster's Foundation, primary source here. See, a lot of them people out there will make it seem like they know what they're talking about, but all they doing is regurgitating information that they were taught in school and by word of mouth. Excuse me, the difference between them and I is the fact that I do my own research unbiasedly. I don't listen to nobody else's word. I come up with my own theory, run with it as a lead until I see the solution, and then come up with a conclusion and share it with you. And guess what it is? It's the truth. Each and every time. And y'all got the nerve to say that since we don't look like this guy, we're not American Indian. And then I tell y'all, they get mad at me because I said, no, we're not trying to be like Native Americans. Native Americans trying to be like us. What you mean? Stop playing now. You think we wasn't beating on drums out here dancing around in circles? You think Africa was the only place doing that? They beating in drums in Haiti. They beating on drums in Dominican Republic. They beating in drums in South America. Let me just say it like that. Central America, North America, Canada, Hawaii. That's all this stuff not taking place in just Africa. Like, we move by the beat of the drum. That's why we love bass so much. Listen to our music. And when we got the right speakers in the cars, you don't hear the lyrics, but we can tell what a song is based off of the bass line. You mean to tell me that we ain't, listen, them folks copied us here. We are the high vibrational people. And that's why we love those low frequencies so much, because it's the reason why they want to, this the reason why they want to control low and high frequencies by way of the sound wave. All of it, the electro wave, frequency wave, you pick it. That's why they want to control the radios, your cell phones, cell towers, the technology, because they know you're electrical beings. And if they manipulate something that could affect your DNA strand, that will probably prolong y'all from reproducing, because they want more of them than us being here. But guess what? They have never, ever outnumbered us in history. Ever. The only reason why it may seem like they won is because they have control over your mind. They didn't win nothing. You just blind.
Humanity, basically. Why would you kick somebody out in the middle of winter, especially Winnemucca when it was snowing?
The colony has offered leases to some residents so they can stay.
The lease had a bunch of stuff that I couldn't even talk to certain residents, so I didn't agree with it, and they're like, you're gonna have to move.
They been real hard. All right, okay, that's enough. I'm tired of listening to all that crying. So anyway, the whole point is that they were getting more than one check anyway. Just like that lawyer said, what's the point in them complaining? They got away with it that long. What's the point in them complaining now after their little tribe did some auditing and was like, hold up. They already getting 700,000 from that tribe and 400,000 from that tribe and then 200,000 from that tribe. What's the point of getting now 150,000? No. Matter of fact, they say about to hurt you. Let me get that land. Get up off of here. You not a member. Get up out of here. They coming up with their own rules and regulations. Look, and check this out. So should we. So should we. Okay? But yeah, I mean, I hope y'all heard me. It's gonna be some more stuff like this that I'm gonna put out there because I got a couple of things lined up, but they know who we are. It's just that we didn't. But this is the reason why I'm here. Stopping all of that bull crap that they've been giving us, because we need to get back to generational wealth, building up our own individual families the proper way. And you know, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't care. I don't care if y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all go ahead, stay subscribed. Y'all need this. I don't want to hear it. What? What do you mean build the trust? No, I don't want to hear that, Dane. You gonna learn. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button too before you step up out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to y'all the next time. I'm not even going to announce it. I'm gonna just pop up. Just get ready. It could be at any time. It could be tomorrow. I'm gonna stop saying when it's gonna be. I'm gonna just pop up. And you better be there. I love y'all. I'm Dane Calloway. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Wado.
I'm just here to make you think.